She wants to run away. Hey everyone, my name is Alex and we are developing the A1 app. This is my cat. Actually it's not, she is foreign kind of. Just visiting my house and she's super cute. She could be our main guy from our application, our company, but she is not blue enough. So, what about this vlog? In previous vlog, I finally told you about the layout setup and we had completed it 100%. So, in this vlog, okay. How do you find a programmer or moreover find a team? It's kind of important question and it's a big one. In this vlog you'll definitely find out how to do it and I'll highlight for you the best tools that worked out for me and you will be able to do the same way and to find your specialists who are gonna help you to create your product.
2 hours later.
The question is not that difficult, but when you have some knowledge and understanding where to search, which I naturally didn't have. My contacts with friends ran out, but from my previous experience with a programmer, I could at least understood on which platform we would be developing our application. I will actually make one separate video about choosing a platform and coding language. This question is quite big and important, and when you will get to developing your software, you will definitely have to solve it. So for the next 2.5 weeks, I was super focused on one aim: to find programming team for my project. I scoured the entire internet and my phone book to find any clues. Again, I posted several stories in my Instagram page and people started to write me directly. Turned out that there were a couple of friends of mine who did programming thing. I called them and we talked the project over and I compared the rates from other teams. It turned out that my first programmer named Price guessed by how many times lower. By 10. And now just imagine my feelings when there is a war in my country, money is running out and I was counting on a certain amount and actually turned out that this amount I have to spend is 10x more. But here the main thing is that if your goal and your aim is ambitious enough and it really motivates you, I think that you will find the resources to make it happen. And actually the main thing is experience. Even if you are not going to be successful with some certain idea, it's okay because this experience you are going to use in your future projects. For example, this is my third attempt to make videos on YouTube. Before that, I just gave up, even though I was producing quite decent content for a beginner. I was making business interviews and actually they were not that bad, but the production was a bit complicated and those videos, they didn't motivate me enough, so I just quit. So I have received a couple of estimates from different teams, got a little overwhelmed how I would manage it and just went to bed. And the next morning I resumed my search with the new mindset of different numbers which I would have to spend on my project. While surfing the internet, I found a couple of platforms like Ukrainian doll, for example, or do. I don't know how do you call them, but that platform is actually for IT specialists and guys who are in charge of doing various kind of software and stuff like that. I think you probably didn't hear about because it's kind of a website, but I didn't like it because it was complicated and I didn't know how to get information I need from that platform. So after 2.5 focused search, I finally found a platform called Upwork, and I think this is the moment you are watching this video for, because after this period of time and test of different ways to fight for the team, that platform worked for me just fine. I think just by that information I could save you like around 3 weeks of time. So if you ever heard about a platform called Fiverr, you will understand the exact mechanism how Upwork work. So Upwork is an American platform founded on 2015 and it's super cool and super easy tool for finding people. I probably think that various entrepreneurs use this platform to make their own businesses and to sell working hours of specialists to small and big companies. So how does it work? One side is for specialists, middlemen is Upwork, and third side is you. So Upwork helps you to find specialists and to guarantee that nothing will happen with your money.
Where's the money, Lebowski?
So I made a post on Upwork. To give you an idea, my announcement was as concise and straightforward as possible. I wrote who I was looking for what task, and how much I was paying. So the next question is how to choose and whom to choose on Upwork. From my experience, as I found out after a certain research, that the most specialists on Upwork are from India, Pakistan and Ukraine. So that is actually up to you guys whom to choose, but I'll just talk about my ideas and what factors influenced on me when I choose to work with Ukrainian team.
Hell yes.
So first and not least is language. Of course, it's more comfortable to communicate in your native language, especially when your project is going to be long term. The second thing is code, and I think that Ukrainian specialists would do clearer code, and it's going to be more understandable for the further specialists who will work on application improvements. Third thing is pretty important for me as well. The team I choose, they gave the most attractive offer and the lowest price. I mean, that price was the lowest from the highest. It still was not 10x lower as the first programmer gave me, but the offer was the lowest. And the fourth thing is pretty much important for me as well, that it's easier to reach physically Ukrainian team for me, because I am in Ukraine, the team is also in Ukraine. If something happens and you have some misunderstanding with team from Pakistan or India, it's gonna be super difficult to go to them and to find them and so on. Right now in Ukraine is war, and it's legally not possible to travel anywhere. We have limitations by the government for young people like me, and it's super complicated just to travel anywhere. So for me it was quite a huge argument as well. So returning to Upwork, they have one pretty interesting mechanic that intrigued me as well. After my post on the second day, I received an application from the Ukrainian team. In the application, it said that it was paid to make sure I saw it better. And that actually surprised me. I thought that it's cool if the development team is ready to spend some money and to highlight their announcement and their post. Probably they are pretty involved and they want to take this job. And that worked for me just 100% fine. We got in touch through Upwork. As usual, I did presentation in Zoom, showed my screen even without video, so I didn't see the person. By the way, the first time when I saw my team lead from the development team was on the 8th month of our cooperation. I don't recommend to do like that. I think it's not good thing to make a proper team building process, but that's just what happened with me. Now we are making calls with video, and I think that it's a much better way to interact with your team. After we discussed everything, I gave a link to Figma, and they took 1 week to make estimate and projects calculation. They came back with a pretty detailed estimate, which actually also surprised me, and it was kind of a good approach. I mean, this file didn't look fancy or well made from a marketing point, but it was super detailed. He sent me a table with a breakdown by hours for each block and each specialist involved. I mean, it may not sound complicated, but he was the first one to do it. And it was super understandable and super detailed. It's just like you see that for our project we need front end, back end, QA, and you see how many hours they're planning to spend on each block. So for me it was already two advantages to work with that team. First, they paid for their ad so I could see it better, and second, they made super cool and detailed estimate. And there was a third factor, which was not insignificant for me: the lowest price among high prices. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, it doesn't work with my English, but I used to notice lots of details. Also, what appealed to me about choosing a team was the dialogue itself. And when we talk over about lots of details concerning our project, I have noticed that guys, they were pretty well educated, they knew a lot of things about developing, but when they didn't know something, they just told directly like that. For me, it was an important point as well, because it's cool when people are honest with you, and I think if you don't know something, it's not a big problem, you can always figure it out. In the next vlog, I'll tell you about the team composition, why it's structured that way, and the roles of each team member. So stay tuned and see you in the next video.